Hey, Salvatore.
Yeah, you got him on. How you doing, Telvis?
So you have 4 out of 6.
Good. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Tutorial's on too. Okay.
I know sometimes you work so late. That's why I just wanted to know.
All right, Madam Chair, I guess we're ready.
Executive.
All right, Maria, it's your show.
Okay, so just wanted to welcome everybody to this committee meeting. Thank you. I know the time is getting to that time of year. Everybody's getting ready to check out, but thank you for taking the time to spend with us this evening. And my name is Maria Torres. I'm the chairperson of the Economic, Municipal Services Committee for Community Board 2. Normally we do a round of introductions, and that gets crazy with these Zoom WebEx meetings, so we'll just keep it at that. And I guess as you speak, if you can introduce yourself and where you're from as you go. This is we have 2 agenda items, and so we should hopefully we can run through this and not spend too much time on this and get back to our holidays goings on. Mr. Acevedo, you said that you had something you wanted to say.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to acknowledge State DOT. So I've been in communications with, let me make sure I get her last name correct, Sylvia Hamer. And so I originally had reached out regarding the Hunts Point side of the construction, Hunts Point and Bruckner and Edgewater, regarding just the construction timeline and issues with traffic. On the agenda that I sent her earlier today, she pointed out that that's not what I had originally discussed. But I'm happy that at least State DOT is on. I want to just acknowledge that is clearly an error on my part. I should have corrected the item to describe what it was that I originally requested in the email. So I just want to thank Sylvia. I don't know if she's on, but I will shoot her an email now and just thank her for letting for clarifying that and having this team from State DOT on with us right now, Madam Chair. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, and thank you, State DOT.
Okay, all right. So yes, Ralph, I guess I didn't read the agenda item either. So looking at it now, State DOT is here to discuss the bridge corrective repairs and safety improvements at Westchester Avenue over Sheridan Boulevard.
That's what the error is. The original request was made for the Hunts Point Bruckner side, right? And issues with the construction, like the timeline of the construction, and issues with traffic. That's what they actually prepared, which is what the original intention was. So that's why I needed that point of reference to apologize for what I initially requested and what appeared on the agenda. And Ms. Sylvia Hamer was 100% correct with it. It's clearly an error on my part. So I want to apologize, and I want to thank State DOT for still coming on. And hopefully that's the presentation that they have for us. So that's I just wanted to acknowledge that Sylvia caught my error. And at the last minute, she's like, let me see, I'm going to talk to my team. And I see a bunch of people from State DOT. So I just I'm thankful for that. It's clearly going to be a productive meeting, and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
All right, so we're talking traffic. Right?
Yeah, so I don't know who's going to...
Okay.
So,
okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, Vinny.
So this is Vinny Vola, Vice President for the Scansco Eco Joint Venture for the DOT project, Hunts Point. I'm going to share my presentation with everyone, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Let me make sure. If you can't see it, let me know. Is it up?
Yes, Vinny, there's just one thing. If you or Sylvia can email us this presentation so we can just have it documented for the records. Because if you are making a presentation, this is a public meeting, and I would really appreciate to have it also. So thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. So good evening, everyone. And Thank you for allowing us to have a few minutes with you this evening, and anything we can do to help the community and inform the community is welcomed. And we know we're very intrusive as all construction projects are, and anything we can do to help, we're certainly willing to listen. So without further ado, I'll just give you a quick update on where we're at, and then there'll be time for questions and address some of the concerns you've already mentioned. So I'll give a quick overview, some schedule, and then Q&A. So in terms of the overall goals of the project, the whole plan is to let's get the trucks off of the local streets. That's the end result of this project. Okay, getting them right from the Sheridan, right down Edgewater Road, right into Hunts Point Market. So without having to do all the twists and turns around the neighborhood. It's going to be a long-lasting, low-maintenance project. Okay, we're going to be redoing some of the bridges, in particular the Bruckner over the railroad, and then the Bruckner corridor, which is over and I'll go through the drawings. East of the Basque Bridge, we're redoing the Bruckner corridor there. We want pedestrian access to be improved, and we're going to have 2 new parks on both sides, and actually an underpass underneath the Bruckner. And of course, we need to deliver this project safely and get it on schedule for everyone and within budget. So we're the first of 3 contracts. So the whole program is divided into three different areas. So we're the first one. The second one will start next year. The third one the year after. So ours is a lump sum design build, and the contractor is responsible for the design, is what that means. DOT owns it, and like I said, I'm with Skanska Eco, and we're the builder, and Sylvia is the community liaison, who you mentioned earlier. Okay, so this is an aerial view of our project. So I don't have a pointer, obviously, but the Sheridan is up on top, going north to south, where the Bruckner is east to west. You see the river and the Hunts Point drawbridge, which is going to be replaced as part of this project. So this is a rendering of what it's going to look like at the end. So when I said the idea was to get the trucks off of the local streets, you can see now there's a brand new ramp right in the middle of the page here where we're going over the Bruckner. So Edgewater, over the Bruckner, over the railroad tracks, and then come down into the middle of the Sheridan. So that'll allow trucks to go right from the Sheridan into Edgewater and vice versa. Also, if you're going northbound on Sheridan, you'll also be able to get it to hook in on that other side of the ramp. So that's the major feature, which is going to help improve traffic in and around the neighborhood in the long term. The second rendering is just looking at it on the other side now. So this is Edgewater Road going north, and you'll see the ramp now over the railroad, different look, and then you see the Basque Bridge in the middle, which is a historic bridge. It does not get touched during this project. East of it, there is a lot of road work and reconstructing. We're doing a whole new roadway on that. Again, another look, but this is focused on the parks. So there's going to be a pedestrian walkway right through the park on Garrison, and then there's going to be a tunnel underneath, and you'll be able to get the concrete plant park, so you can walk up and down both sides of you get underneath the Bruckner there. And you can see Edgewater Road, what it's going to look like, which is 1 lane north if you're not going to be on the ramp. The ramp is 2 lanes, both directions. A quick update on schedule. The design, I said it was a design build project, so a lot of the first year was focused on design. That's now complete. Construction has ramped up, and we'll probably get even busier this spring. The overall project duration is 42 months. So current project completion is the spring of 2023. This is for stage 1 of 3 projects. So there's still 2 more projects that will be going on concurrently with this. Okay, that's the renderings. Now this is reality. Okay, you can see here, it's not quite as pretty as the rendering. It's a work in progress, but it's going to get there. So you can see the parks, dirt roads in the parks. That's eventually going to be the walkway. Right now, it's our access to build the tunnel underneath Bruckner. The Sheridan, you can see us on the east side building that roadway. We'll construct that roadway. Edgewater Road. We'll construct that roadway on Edgewater Road. We'll put the traffic on that side, and then we'll go over and we'll start building the ramp, which again is the main focus of this job. Next. So this is the Bruckner over Railroad. So the bridge over the existing bridge over the railroad is being raised, and it's getting a brand new deck as we go across. And then when we get to the other side on westbound, we're actually going to replace the truss bridge and again put in brand new steel and a brand new deck. So that whole bridge will be brand new over the railroad. And we completed stage 1, so we've already put traffic on stage 1, and now we're working in the middle of of eastbound Bruckner Boulevard. This is on the other side of the Bascule Bridge. When I said we're doing road work on the east side of the Bascule, this is the Bruckner Viaduct. So we are widening that viaduct, and again, we're replacing all the bridge decks stage by stage going across the Bruckner Expressway. So this is stage 1. We've actually completed all the steel erection. The next stage now will be to do the concrete deck on top. Then we'll put traffic there, and then we'll work our way across the road, stage by stage, lane by lane, keeping the amount of existing lanes currently. This is just a action photo of erecting the steel at night. You can see some of the equipment and tight windows we work in. We're building this thing in a very small envelope, so you can see the fence on one side and the construction zone right on the other. Okay, this is the stage 6 of the SUP. So the shared use path is the path underneath the Bruckner that we're doing for the pedestrians. So this is a wall pour that we had to do in the middle of the Bruckner. This again, stage by stage, going across the Bruckner so that we don't impede, or reduce the amount of lanes. If you walk through the park here, this is what you'll see now. This is stage 1 of the SUP, the shared use path. Again, the tunnel underneath for the pedestrians. We've poured these walls already. We'll pour the top, we'll put traffic on it, and then we'll move over to the next stage. This is ES9 column and footing. Okay, this is over on the Sheridan. Again, the ramp going over the railroad, it's got to connect, and this is where it's going to connect on the other side of the railroad tracks. So that's kind of like the first landing point. You can see the tracks on the top of the page, so you can see how close we are working with Amtrak and how difficult that coordination can be. Okay, just another action photo of placing the concrete in the footing and the railroad tracks and the concrete truck down there. And in terms of overall presentation, that's where I want to open it up to questions, concerns, and see if I can answer anything. If there's anything I can't, then I'll certainly get back to you. But at this point, feel free to ask away.
Maria?
Okay. Yeah, Bobby, did you have something you want to say?
No, I'm just saying.
You want me to open it up?
I'm sure you got a whole slew of questions. And LaShawn has said she has a question.
Okay.
Why don't you ask us?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll let LaShawn know. So Vincent, all right, thank you for that. I mean, I think we went through a really tough time just around Thanksgiving with this project and the traffic that was created because of it. And I know, I mean, you're the contractor, you're not necessarily State DOT. And one of the requests that we have is we need more traffic agents around at certain key points, especially around the holiday time. Now, the Thanksgiving rush is over, but we're going to have the Christmas rush. And these are all important times, especially for the market, with bigger trucks coming in for delivery, which then congest everything and just throw this neighborhood, is kind of haywire for a bit there. So I was just wondering if there's anyone here tonight that can present or discuss that or address that issue for the future? Because I feel like in the next 2 weeks we're going to be right back where we were in November. So is that you, Vincent, or is there somebody else?
The state DOT is on. I mean, I know, Benita, are you on, or would you like to address that, or do you want me to?
Yeah, hi, Vinny. This is Benita. Yeah, so currently we have the TE agents at eastbound Brockner and Edgewater and at Bronx River Avenue, and we can certainly look into, having more TE agents. If anything to ease up the traffic, that's our goal too. So, yeah, we'll sure look into it.
Yeah, I mean, this traffic was, it actually backed up onto the Bronx River Parkway because people couldn't, once they came off the ramp, they couldn't make that turn to get onto the Bruckner. And then it was just, so I feel like there was like 7 stations you needed to, traffic agents to be there, and it's kind of almost like you have to sit in person and show you a map of some of the key areas. And then I did want to thank you guys because for a brief moment there was the traffic on Edgewater was creating problems for people that were trying to get to the Bruckner because they were able to, instead of turning stay local and get towards Bronx River Avenue, they were able to kind of jet across and get onto the Bruckner Express lane, and that was creating more traffic on the people that could do that. Or if the light was red by Bronx River Avenue, that created the jam. And so, but you guys have since changed that pattern, so I thank you guys for that.
Yeah,
that was a big problem.
I was going to say, one of the problems, and hopefully it's alleviated now, is right before Thanksgiving. Right before Thanksgiving, we did have a different traffic configuration until we opened that bridge. So once we opened that bridge, it did change to, 2 lanes were back on the Bruckner Boulevard, so the traffic pattern did change.
Okay, I'll open it up. LaShawn, your question?
Yeah, you mentioned it was a 42-month project, and it was 3 phases, and they're running concurrently. So does that mean all 3 phases are expected to be completed in 42 months?
Is this okay?
I guess, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah. No, this project will be done in 42 months. I don't have the timelines for the other 2 projects at this time.
Okay. And what are we doing in terms of traffic? Again, do we have detour signs that are up to redirect traffic? I mean, besides the agents, I think people are just generally confused, especially if they're not familiar with this area. What other routes they could potentially take, and because I don't recall seeing them. And do we know, for example, if there's going to be some changes with the current signs and things that are up? So, for example, you can't make certain turns in certain places. Are those things going to be removed or kind of paused while all this construction is going on? Because it's sometimes, I mean, myself included, I shouldn't throw myself under the bus like this, but I've had to make an illegal turn once or twice just because I was trying to get out of all the traffic. There was no option for me but to do that.
Right. Okay, so I'll see if I can answer your questions. So one of the main focuses is to keep the number of current lanes open during the daytime. So there's no detour per se on just because it's congested, because the number of lanes are open. If we were to close a lane, then, we would have a detour and all the proper signage. But in terms of signs to create alternate routes, we don't have that. We don't have that. We have all the construction signs, and we have the number of lanes we're required to keep open.
Okay.
But I understand and appreciate your, it's difficult.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other
I had a question. I have questions.
Oh, wow. Okay. Miles, then Ralph.
You might have touched upon it and I missed it, but
you have like a diet example?
I find one of the biggest places that there's a backup of traffic is like when people are not sure if they will go down Bruckner Boulevard or Bruckner Expressway. Point before, oh God, I can't even think of the street right now. I guess right before Edgewater, but how is that going to be, explained earlier? Because people sort of make a split-second decision there, and it causes all this frenzy.
Are you talking about, I'm sorry, eastbound Bruckner Boulevard, whether you get on the expressway or you get down into the slip ramp?
Yeah, I guess where it switches from like the expressway to the boulevard again.
Right.
There's like a fork there, and I can see a lot of people who are probably not familiar with the area that are using their GPS confused because the names are very similar and it's right there. It's a split-second decision.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's a way to denote that switch is going to happen earlier, because when I'm driving, I mean, I know the area, but if I didn't know, I would be kind of confused if both of these lanes are the expressway or if one's going down. Like, yeah, that was my only thought.
You're talking about eastbound, right?
Yes, eastbound. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe there's some additional signage that we could put up if you don't think, to make people think about it a little bit earlier. I'll meet with, we'll talk with the DOT about what might be the best way to go about that.
Okay, thanks.
Ralph?
Yeah, thank you. That was a good presentation, Vinny. Thank you so much for that. You mentioned that it's in 3 phases, the total construction. You're only doing phase 1, and yours will be completed in 2023. And then the other phases are going to be running concurrent, right? This is what you said?
Well, the second project will start sometime in 2021, and then
Vinny,
in 2020.
Vinny.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. This is Snehal Shah. I'm from a state DOT, and I will answer that question. That I'm going to be running all 3 projects. My name is Snehal Shah, and yes, the first project is what Vinny is responsible for. It's going to be finishing up sometimes in the spring of 2023. Answer to your question is that yes, there will be the second project. It's going to start sometimes in the spring of 2021. And it will last up to 2025. I will get you the exact schedule. And then the third project is coming out, but that will be coming out sometimes in the 23rd. So at some point, we will finishing up the phase 1, and then, which is ongoing right now, at that time, the phase 3 will be there. So the 3 phases are, the first one is currently right at the interchange, which Vinny showed it to you. The second phase will start from just now finish the Bruckner job, from there to all the way up to 28th Street or 138th Street. And then the third project will fill between the 2 projects.
So Nahal, thank you so much. So when phase 3 is completed, what year are we looking at here?
You're looking at, don't quote me until I give you more confirmation of the idea, because the phase 3 does not go out yet on a street. Phase 2 is ready to go out in a street. So it's going to be start this spring. So I have a schedule up to 2. The contract 3 is not even ready for bid, so I cannot quote it. But according to the on paper, we are looking everything will be finished by 2025.
Okay. So phase 2 and phase 3 both. Don't quote you on 3. I understand that, but according to what the forecast projections, right? It's 2025.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at, and I will confirm it in writing tomorrow. What is my projected schedule is for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 is anticipated schedule. Because that that needs to go out and contractor needs to be selected. And right now we are in the design phase.
So it looks like only phase one is affecting. Is this the southeast side, right? The southeast side of the project, which is in our district, Community Board 2.
Yeah.
When phase, so so it looks really nice. I'm happy to hear that at least phase one would be ending in 2023. But I think one of the issues is just having more traffic enforcement agents here.
Okay.
It has gotten a little better. So I'm happy to hear that it had to do with the roadways themselves, and now you're opening back up the 2 lanes. So that's a real good thing. But at one point here, like the Madam Chair was saying, by Thanksgiving, it was a really nightmare. It was really, really bad, and part of the reason why I reached out to you guys. So I want to
look. I really appreciate you.
That's okay.
So I really appreciate your guys' patience, and I appreciate that you reach out to us. The Thanksgiving, before beginning of the Thanksgiving, because the way the construction staging was working, we have to put one of the Brockner Boulevard lane detour traffic onto the Edgewater. And Edgewater traffic merged with that Brockner eastbound traffic. That's why that 10 to 12 days was very heavy. Now we will never ever put that detour over there. So Edgewater traffic, which you see it in the last week or so, which is significantly improved, and TEAs are there, will remain like that way.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. Once again, I appreciate you guys coming on and bringing a point of clarity. And thank you once again, Sylvia. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No, not a problem. And anytime if you or anyone in the audience has any kind of a question, reach out to Sylvia, and she will get to us at appropriate people in the staff. We'll provide her information, and if we need to get on a phone, we will get on a phone with you guys.
Maria?
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say one more thing, and I mentioned it before. I just want to know, like, to ensure that for Christmas, the holiday season, that, can we have a quicker response time to the traffic issues should it occur again before Thanksgiving? I want to make sure, so we should reach out to Sylvia, should we reach out to Anita? Who is it that we go to in terms of we need traffic enforcement agents immediately? Who do we call?
So this is how the traffic enforcement works. We requested a traffic enforcement agent for all the posts, right? NYPD do send out a post. We are not anticipate any major traffic shift until the end of the year. We are not looking into it. Everything what you see it out there will be continuously remain as it is, including traffic agent. For some reason you are looking for any additional posts, I need to know it. We need to send that request to NYPD, and if they have a resources available, then they assign it. Our job is to request it, but NYPD right now is on a very scarce resources, and they are using limited staff, but they are giving a priority to our project because of the significance of a neighborhood and the businesses on the Edgewater Road. So you notice it. We have up to 14 people, 7 to 7 on a job site during the Thanksgiving time. And we are doing everything possible in our power to invite them. And I think that all the posts are right now is covered. So if you have any significant concern within our project limit, reach out to Sylvia, and we will try to expedite the response.
Maria?
Okay. Thank you. And Bobby, do you have anything?
Yeah.
LaShawn had a question. I'm not sure if she still has it, but she had a question earlier.
Didn't she ask?
Yeah, she asked a question, right, LaShawn? You did.
Oh, she went on. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah. If I might have missed up earlier question, and if somebody asks that question, I can answer that.
Hello. My name is Roberto Crespo. I'm the chair of Community Board 2. And I'm also the vice chair of the Southern Boulevard Bid. But let me just say, on your when you're showing me these skits, the Westchester Bridge, Westchester Avenue Bruckner Bridge, or the Sheridan Westchester Bridge. There's a bridge there. How is traffic going to be controlled on that spot? Because I could see trucks waiting to make turns when they're getting off that particular area. Is there going to be any work on that bridge also?
So under the...
Hello?
You got cut off now.
I think that always happens to me when I ask an impossible question. Maybe you can answer it, Vinny, since this is really part of your project.
Yeah, well, there's two projects. There is another project that has to do with the Westchester Avenue exit, and that's not part of the project. But the ramp, the exit ramp,
not the exit ramp, not the exit ramp going towards Manhattan. The one I'm talking about is the exit ramp on the Sheridan from Manhattan into 177th Street.
So
going northeastbound.
Right, northeast. Thank you, Ralph.
And so northeast direction, the ramp is in the part of our project, but our projects end right at the line of the Westchester Avenue sidewalk on the south side, not the north side.
Not going to be any construction done on that bridge?
That bridge not under this contract. There may be some modifications for the traffic signal, and we have ADA compliance lamps in the median and a triangular area, which we call ADA compliance light. But other than that, no physical work on the street of the Westchester Avenue under this contract.
And you're saying that my next question is the park, the walkway, the pedestrian walkway. Who's going to be addressing the maintenance of that? Is that going to still be Parks Department?
That's what my belief is. That's what I believe. It will be constructed by state DOT, the concrete parks and the Gibson Park, and will be connected between the two. And the New York City DOT Park will maintain it. They are maintaining right now Gibson Park, concrete plant park, and they will continue to maintain it.
Can I have that again? Who's maintaining what park?
New York City Parks. Who's maintaining right now the concrete plant park, right?
Right.
So the maintenance responsibility will remain the same person who is maintaining today.
The same agency going to be responsible for the additional on the Edgewater side.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, Garrison Playground. That's Garrison Playground. Yeah.
But we're going to have two different names, right? I guess one's going to be Garrison Playground and the other one's going to be Concrete Park. All right?
Yeah, they're both in our board.
Okay.
So it goes right up to where you were saying on that exit ramp on Westchester. That's our actual borderline there.
Our border is right there. I know. And so let me just say, as I now got to take off my hat from the community board, put on my hat from the bid. We have had a lot of backup because traffic patterns, when you guys are changing your traffic patterns, you're not notifying anybody ahead of time that there's traffic patterns ahead of time. Change of traffic patterns. All right?
I think that we are sending...
Excuse me, sir. Let me just finish what I have to say. There's no notification of change of traffic patterns. Furthermore, we have two buses that go from Southern Boulevard into Hunts Point into Bruckner, which then backs up traffic even more. And at this present time, as the chairwoman of the committee has stated, Thanksgiving was holy hell. I don't know if you guys stopped construction now because there was no backup today. I just came from there, no backup whatsoever. So I'm assuming you guys stopped construction for the holidays.
No.
No? All right.
No, we've actually
How are you going to notify people to change their traffic patterns?
So
yes? Hello?
Yeah, I think Snell got cut off again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm cutting off. It's a bad reception for me.
Well, maybe Vinny can. Somebody's got to answer that, because there's no notification of change of traffic patterns, and so since there's no notification of traffic patterns, I would suggest that you walk around there and look to see where you're going to put on additional. You're going to have to put additional traffic control agents, because that is the only way you're going to be able to control it. Come the holidays, come Christmas, everybody takes 163rd into Bruckner to cross over to the other side to Community Board 9. And we have problems already on 163rd because of that. All right. Now we're talking about traffic coming through Southern Boulevard into there with the two buses and all this construction going on. Not to mention, Ralph, when is Amtrak supposed to start?
They delayed their you mean the Metro North, right?
Yeah,
that's what you mean? Yeah. They're on a delay. So I really don't know when they're going to start now.
Well, it should be starting right around the ending and the beginning of phase 2, right? Or, ending of phase
Hopefully. 2. I honestly don't know. We can have Barati come and give us an update of anything next month.
All right. But how are you going to notify those people driving changes of traffic patterns? You need to suggest alternate traffic ways to get around. Because for me, I don't go through Bruckner when you guys got your construction. I have to go all the way around through 167th Street to 174th to get around all that traffic when I'm crossing over to Community Board 9.
Okay, we'll look into it, how we can able to communicate better and send Community Board 2 all our upcoming traffic advisory. I'll look into it, what we are sending out to CTDOT, what traffic lane closure we are doing it on a daily basis, nighttime and that one. If that is a help everyone to get what is coming up, and if you see something which caused the impact, then let us know and we will look into it. But certainly, I will send you all the information of a lane closure. We will put you on our distribution list.
And why can't you put up signs when you're doing change of traffic patterns? Because when you close down Bruckner, that one lane, that's when all the traffic craziness came down towards our community.
So I understand that.
And it took the captain that was responding to the other side of Bruckner Boulevard. It took him an hour and a half to cut across to the other side with a siren on.
Yeah, and I agree, and like I said to you, that was a happen because one lane closure is required. There is no other way to construct it, and that one is done behind us. I appreciate everybody's support, and I really apologize that I put through all this one, but that's the drawback of the construction when we are doing it. Moving forward, we will always maintain 2-lane on a Bruckner Boulevard eastbound and expressway, and all the works we are planning to do during the night time. If anything changes, we will come ahead and we will give you guys a presentation up front. This is what we're planning to do. This is how we are doing it. And if you have any concern, comments on that one, we will address it. That I can tell you moving forward.
Go ahead,
whatever is done, I cannot fix it.
Okay, yeah, I think another thing that might be helpful too, I think Sylvia's on the call, and as the community liaison, it's maybe to be in touch also with the markets and their heavy time. Like, Thanksgiving obviously was a really very, very busy time for the market. They had tons of trucks coming in, so our traffic is always heightened at that point as well. And so looking forward to like the Christmas season, find out from the market, do they have a particular time where they're going to see an uptick in trucks that will be coming in and out of Hunts Point that will also add to this problem, I think is another thing. And so, Sylvia, if and now if you can kind of be in touch with them and find out those things, because that's going to also create the problem.
No?
All right. Are there any more questions, I guess, for me? I don't know. I just would like the presentation. So Vinny or Sylvia, one of you could send it to me. I would appreciate that. I just want to keep it for the records.
Understood. Yep. And I don't know if Sylvia was able to, if she's in a good spot or not, but we understand we have been communicating with the markets, but we'll make sure that again, it seems like a lot of communication and notices will help. So we'll certainly look into that.
I think that you need to, Mr. Snell, please, excuse me. I think that what communication has to do is with the community board and the precinct. None of the two knew when you closed down that lane. That created a tremendous headache for this community. And I'm sorry, I fight for my community. I'm the chairman of the community board, and I do believe there was no communication when you shut down that lane, and it created havoc for almost 2.5 weeks to this community.
And I apologize that communication failed. We did not know it, and that is something we should have known about it. And moving forward, I can fix it. I cannot go back and fix in the past.
But you could fix it now in the present, right?
Yeah. So and that's why I say get your email address, Ralph's email address, and chairman's email address, and we will send you all the information what we have. This is just only we don't have that.
But you need to also communicate with the police department and the market.
Yes, market is involved, and we will include the police department, both precincts. I believe so precinct is getting the notice, but we will make sure that all the precinct surrounding is getting our notification, because we do involve precinct and fire department to notify what our lane closures are.
Well, let me just say that I think that you're going to need to put traffic agents on Bruckner Boulevard, on Barreto, on Tiffany, and on Longwood, because that's where the bottleneck go all the way up to when you when you go rush hour.
I don't know. We got to go that far back, but we need them on Hunts Point Avenue.
And Hunts Point,
for sure.
Yeah,
because Hunts Point Avenue is where you got everyone turning in, and you got people coming from 163rd Street, and it causes a big nightmare. And then you have them blocking the westbound traffic from the Bruckner Boulevard going down like into the city. So then that gets backed up because you got people trying to get into the Bruckner there. That's where we really need some traffic agents at also, Hunts Point and Bruckner.
And Longwood, Ralph, because Longwood...
I would say Barreto as well, but I don't care to tell you how many times I was stuck in that traffic, and it was because there was an 18-wheeler that just was right smack in the middle.
Right.
And, they knew they couldn't make the right, but they did it, and they blocked all traffic going up Barreto to get into Hunts Point, and you couldn't make that turn, and you sat there for 20 minutes because that truck was stuck there.
Yep.
And so I feel like you need traffic agents at Hunts Point, but you also need them at Barreto to stop the cars from creating that gridlock, because it starts there as well. So, listen, it's one of those things, like if I could sit down with you guys with a map and we could just kind of say the trouble spots. I know it's hard to talk about from looking at it like this, but and again, it's a lot of it had to do with the markets having bigger trucks coming in. You guys closing down that lane. It was a perfect storm for about 2 weeks, and I live right on the other side of the Bruckner in Hunts Point, like kind of close to it, and I could tell you from 3 o'clock to about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, all I heard was honking. All I heard was trucks honking and cars honking for 2 to 3 weeks straight, from 3 o'clock to about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And it was horrendous. But
yeah, so my point well noted, and you saying that you are to the traffic at Hunts Point and Barreto, right?
I think it would be helpful
Bruckner and Barreto, I think she meant. Right, Maria? Bruckner and
Barreto would be helpful, because that's the first way to get into the peninsula and do a block off.
Just to be 100% accurate, can you able to send that information, what you are suggesting, where we have that one to Sylvia, so we can look into it, and I will raise it up higher up, and we will ask more TEA agent.
Yes, Ralph can do that. No problem.
Sure.
Okay, please send it to us, that one, and that way we know that, and we will put the appropriate location rather than we are speculating it where you want it. So I just want to make sure that we are on the same page, and we can able to do it. This one is like working out well, but I would rather meet you face to face. But under the current circumstance, we cannot, and that's
I don't want to. Excuse me. I don't want to lose any of the agents we have right now. That you're just
no. I'm not talking about replacing them. I'm adding.
Okay.
Them.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. Ralph, thank you, DOT, for coming in.
Ralph.
Okay, Miles, you have a question?
Pardon me. No, I was just going to say, while we're marking locations up, and I know we're talking about how it backs up, the intersection, the crazy intersection at 163rd and Southern Boulevard and Hunts Point Avenue there, when that gets congested, it also causes a backup on the westbound side of the Bruckner of cars that come off there. So maybe some traffic agents to avoid having that intersection congested, because, as you said, it's domino effect. But I see that happening there, and I just wanted people to know.
Why don't we do this tomorrow? Miles, you give your suggestions. Maria, yours. I'll send to Ralph, and then Ralph can just comprise an email of, as per our conversation, these are the locations we need.
Well, I was going to send it right now. But I'll discard it and just wait for you guys to, give me your locations, and then I'll send it.
Okay. I have another question for you guys. When you put together, based on your experience, what are the timing where you face the maximum congested?
Obviously, it's, the rush hour, I would say, from 3 o'clock.
1:30 p.m., people going home from whoever starts early in the meat market, food market. People start going home about 2 o'clock. Am I correct, Maria?
So it's an evening rush hour is questionable, or it's a morning rush hour? What we looking into it? Because what happened that NYPD was in a shift, and they work from 6 to 2 o'clock shift, and then they work from 1 to 7 o'clock shift. So what am I looking for? 1 to 7 o'clock afternoon shift to help rush hour traffic in the evening?
Yeah, that was the word, 1 to 7 p.m.
Okay, so please write it down, that one, in your request, that you are looking for somewhere in the afternoon rush hour, and I will figure it out which shift they can able to provide it to me, and how many resources they have it. And we will look into it, and I will talk to my higher up executive. And because this is a cause, I agree that some of that one is a cause because of our project construction, some are pre-existing conditions, and we will work together with you guys, and whatever you're facing it, we'll provide whatever the resources we can able to pull it out through it. And I will look into it very strongly. I heard you very loud and clear that traffic congestion is a concern about communities, and we want to make sure that we please the community while we are finished our work. So that's not an issue. I will look into it. I just need to know that what time you want it. And you said in afternoon shift, so that's fine with me.
Okay, great.
Hey, Ralph.
Great.
Yes.
It's Maria. Is it okay if I ask a question?
You gotta ask the chair. Ask Maria.
Maria, may I ask a question?
Oh boy, Maria. Okay. Of course.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know your
Maria,
procedure.
don't get me in trouble here. Just don't get me in trouble, please. Thank you, Maria.
I'm sorry, Ralph. I don't know the procedure, so that's why I always come in with an apology first.
That's fine. That's fine. You did the right thing.
I just wanted to ask, because I know that I've sat in other spaces in which traffic agents are needed, and even though there's a certain amount of places that the community suggests that make plenty of sense, they may say that they don't have resources. The police department may say that they don't have resources to have that many agents. So is there a number that is typical for a project this size that are usually provided, or that's not necessarily a thing?
So it's traffic agent is usually as needed basis. It's not set like call for that you have to provide at this many locations. But the locations are impacted. They are, we are considering it. It's not that if it's not in a contract, I cannot provide it to you. Right now, the location which we are referring it to you is right now is basically it's outside our project limit. However, it is within the impact zone, and I recognize that. And that's why I said I will raise it up to higher up and look into it, that afternoon shift we can able to add into it. And this is basically Monday to Friday, right?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Monday to Friday, rush hour, afternoon shift, and you give me the 3 or whatever the location you guys give it to us, whatever we are on agreement.
Thank you, Maria, for giving me the space to ask that question. And I
Maria,
can help whichever way you want me. Thank you.
I think we have Maria, good hearing from you, Maria, also. I think we have a question from Nick Mario. Nick Mario's on. I think he has a question.
Oh, Nick. Hey, Nick, how are you? Long time no hear from, but go ahead.
How are you guys doing? So I think I'm in Hunts Point. I'm pretty much in Hunts Point every single day, and I travel around a lot. And I think, obviously there's more than one spot that is creating problems. But I think as a first easy step, if we eliminate the turns off of Hunts Point Avenue, either going north or south, where they could only go straight either into the Southern Boulevard area or into Hunts Point on that, and not being able to make turns there, would really help the congestion in that corner, which if that corner kind of gets freed up, it's going to help the Leggett Avenue and the Barrettos, because I believe it starts at Hunts Point Avenue. That's where the big problems start, is on that corner.
Hello? Thank you, Nick. We heard you. Although if you're going westbound, you got to turn on the Sheridan. That's an easy right turn to make because you're not really in the flow going across the Bruckner.
Right.
And then
going
on
up
the other
Sheridan,
side,
but that's never a problem, Ralph.
I know.
The right lane there that makes the right to the Sheridans, that doesn't really get backed up. Yeah, I know.
But you bring up a good point because you bring up a good point. When people come in westbound on the Bruckner, they make that illegal left turn on Hunts Point Avenue. That's an illegal turn, that left. Yeah. And everybody's making it now. Everybody's making it now there, because they just don't want to go all the way around down to Barretto and get caught up in what Maria was stating when you get the trucks over there. Even if you're in the left lane, it's sometimes difficult to make that left turn. And if you're coming up Barretto, forget about it because that truck is in the way now. Your light is green. Now you get stuck in the middle. And this is all a cause and effect of the traffic because of the construction. Because this barely, at the extent that's happening now. So this is why we're giving examples that, why we need these traffic agents there. So.
Yeah, after living through that, I could talk traffic all night. The other issue that we had too was figuring out a way for trucks, the big trucks that were also making, everybody was forced to make the turn on Bryant and this is to leave the peninsula, right? So you're on Garrison, and so the light on Bryant was backed up in all, 3 directions, right? For trucks coming from Edgewater, trucks coming from Garrison, from Huntsman Avenue, and then you had the Bryant Avenue traffic. That was all screwed up. And I don't know if there's a way of, trucks weren't supposed to be on Garrison, but they're on Garrison. And so that was creating a big hot mess. It seems like we have other issues, and it's not just this construction, with trucks not using truck routes, cars making the illegal left turn, and all this stuff has started, kind of, I guess, with COVID because there's less people watching. And so people are kind of going back to, old traffic patterns or doing illegal traffic patterns. And so, this is almost something that we need to have with NYCD or some other higher traffic moments, not just construction. But I also want to say, like, in the interest of time, I mean, this has been great, but we spent an hour on one agenda item. We only have one more, but I just wanted to keep people, so I'll take one more question if there's another question for this, and then we'll have to move on to the next. Okay. So
I have one thing to add.
Who's that?
Hi, this is Tom Bayer with New York State DOT.
Hi, how are you? All right,
Good.
Go ahead.
I just have one thing to add. There were questions earlier about the Westchester Avenue Bridge over the Sheridan. It's just outside the limits of this project, but there will be construction on this on another NYS DOT project this winter, next spring, and into next summer to repair the bridge deck and repave the bridge deck. It's a safety improvements project, and they're also going to be putting in sidewalk curb ramps at all quadrants of that bridge. I just want to note that the schedule of that work will be coordinated with the Hunts Point projects. So there will be all traffic patterns will be managed through the two projects, through the turn, so everyone all traffic can get through during both projects. Traffic works on traffic control plans. It'll be coordinated. That's all.
All right, great. Thank you, Tom. That was good.
Okay. And I see in the chat, I see Ray Arroyo. Welcome to the meeting, and I see he added some things about the 41st Peak and Council, I guess, apparently gets these traffic issues as well. So we'll try to figure out a way to coordinate. Okay, so we'll move forward. Thank
we'll
you.
Move on. Thank you, State DOT.
And Skanska and everybody else who came on to discuss that project. Thank you for your time. And, we'll be in touch
yes,
next time.
Sure. And like I say to you, this is Snehal again, and I run the project. So if any question, concerns, or you see it, just send the email to Sylvia, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Also, one thing I want to point out that you requested that the copy of the presentation to send it to you. We will get it clearance from our department, and some of the format of the slide. The presentation content may not change, but the format may change. So we will change it, but the content.
Well, I'm sorry. Say that again. What will change? Can you say that again? What will change?
No, the border on the pictures or anything like that we have to give it to you, the New York State DOT standard border. So whatever we presented to you will remain same.
Yeah, because this is a public meeting, so that's public information. So we're requesting it. So
I will not change any content.
Okay, thank you, Sanal. Thank you, and thank you, Vinny. Thank you for that, and Sylvia and Tom for talking. Thank you.
Does that Sylvia meet on your district service cabinet meeting?
No.
Can she pop?
So I'll add her to the list. I'll add her to the list for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we are done with the New York State DOT, or you want us to stay hanging there?
No, you didn't. I don't think so, man.
Okay, have a nice day and have a happy holidays, everybody.
Same to you.
And again, thank you very much for your support, and looking forward to work together. And I apologize one more time what happened during the holidays time of Thanksgiving within the community, and we'll do better.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yep. With that, have a good night and happy holidays, everybody.
Yes, happy holidays.
Have a good night.
Okay, good night. All right, so we'll move on to our next agenda item, and that's renovation of the Fancy building.
That's CDC, and I see Wahira on, so maybe Wahira, I don't know if you want to lead or do the introduction.
Yeah, yep, I can start.
Wahira, thank you.
Hi, we meet again. Everyone is having a good evening. My name is Wahira Marta. I'm on the Government and Community Relations team at EDC. I'm here with our tenant, Fancy Foods from the co-op. They are doing some renovations and expansions on their site. And as a part of the PDC, which is the Public Design Commission, we have to present the design to the community board, not necessarily for a yay or nay, but more as an informative presentation and an opportunity for you all to ask questions. So I'm going to kick it over to that team, and they're going to give the presentation themselves.
Yeah, there is a presentation? Because you should have sent it to me.
There is. I'm sorry. I can actually.
Can you email it to me?
Yeah, I can do that right now.
Great. Well, Hero, you should be a pro with us already.
Listen, okay, it has been it has been a week. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
You're gonna have to start treating her like Charlie.
It would have taken longer if we had Charlie on, because first 10 minutes would be me beating up on him.
Right.
We'll blame Charlie for the traffic, man. He's lucky.
Sorry, my computer's a little slow. All right, Ralph, I'll be in your email in like 2 seconds.
Hopefully. Is there any way that maybe they can start without the presentation? We can get the ball rolling.
Louis, does that work? You guys want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, we can start the introduction. Sure. Anyway, thank you for meeting with us. Unfortunately, I can't get my camera to work. I can see most of you. I appreciate this opportunity. My name is Luis Rivera, and I'm a partner at Nandini Pukan Architects. We're the design consultants for Fancy Food, and we will show you what we've done so far in terms of expanding the space that Fancy Food requires in order to allow for more pallets for their storage of food in this freezer and cooler spaces. And I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Did you get it, Ralph?
Not yet. Do anybody on their end have the presentation? Because then we could share. I'll share the screen. Put it in here. Why?
I don't know his email.
I'm going to resend it to you.
Does anyone else on that end have the presentation? Because I got it. I just got the email. So
okay.
Let me just. I'll get it up in a second now.
Okay. Can I take a moment to introduce myself?
Sure.
Yeah. First, I'd like to thank everyone on the call for taking your time and having us present. Thank you for taking care of the community. My name is Tom Costa. I'm one of the owners and I'm Vice President of Operations at Fancy Foods. Fancy Foods is a tenant in the Hunts Point Co-op Meat Market. We've been here, next year will be 40 years. We recently purchased additional units that's directly across the street from us, and that's the project that we're going to be talking about now. And like I said, we're in the wholesale, retail meat business, and the use of the facility will be for storage of meat products and fabricating, and that's what we got going on. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has, and we think it's going to be a great addition to the community.
Larry Robinson.
So we have the data.
Who's going to give the presentation here now?
Louis is going to be walking us through Louis will be walking through the.
Short.
Okay.
So as you know, Hunts Point Co-op Market is located in the south area of the Bronx, and we were hired to help Fancy Food with their spaces that they just acquired. And the red dot shows the location of the site. It's located in Building B, loading docks C and D, and that's shown with the red dot on the right. If you can go to the next slide. This is an enlarged area of the red showing the enlargement of the facility on the roof. Basically, we're going to remove the second floor roof and add height to the building. So we're going to add a mass to the building to be able to fit more pallets within the space. So it's mainly an interior space renovation, but there's some exterior that will be extended upwards above the existing roof on the second floor. This is the entrance. The picture number 1 shows a view of the entrance. The arrow in red shows where the entrance is, and then number 2 shows the photograph of the Building B, which shows all the loading dock areas. This is existing conditions. If you go to the next slide. Again, this is the entrance to the facility. In the center of this facility is where the main entrances are. The spaces that have been acquired by Fancy Food is to the right, where it says Mountain States Rosen, and so they have acquired the first and second floors of this space. Next slide. Again, this is the main entrance to the facility. The bottom picture shows the roof area. We're going to be removing this roof area, approximately about 9,000 square feet, and then raise the roof. And that enclosure will be insulated metal panels and a new roof to be able to weather the building. The next page. Sorry, the next slide. Again, this is the new roof extension in Building B. It's pretty. Yeah, that's the site plan. Next slide. The existing conditions are on the top. Is the top picture in the middle, and as you can see in gray on the second image, the shaded area in gray shows the Fancy Food expansion. The roof will be extended but kept within the boundaries of the existing rooftop, so it won't exceed, and you won't be able to see it from anywhere. And you'll see it in the rendering that we'll show later. The last at the bottom shows Fancy Food. That's the area that's been acquired by Fancy Food. As you know, these buildings are very long, so that's why the images are very small. But it is a big facility where we're sort of taking advantage of increasing the area for their needs. Number 6. So this is slide 6. Let's go to slide 7. This is a little closer up of what we're looking at in terms of providing cooler spaces and a freezer. The freezer area is the one that you'll see it's located on the first floor, and then on the roof area, that's the roof that's going to be extended above the existing roof that you saw. All the shaded area again is the spaces that have been recently acquired. The next page. Again, this is The photograph on the left shows where there's existing steel dunnage. There'll be mechanical equipment that will be anchored to that steel dunnage, and then that's what's being shown with this RTUs. Rooftop units are being relocated to that existing dunnage. And then this shows a shaded area of the new roof expansion in relationship to where the air conditioning units are. Next slide. Again, this is a section and an elevation showing how much it's going to extend above the second floor. And we're not really extending beyond the roof, the main roof area, so we're keeping it all within that space. That's that. And then the next slide. This slide shows, it's a self-contained area of freezer. Everything inside is going to be all metal panels, insulated metal panels, and the new roof extension is shown on the upper right-hand corner, showing also insulated panels and a new roof. Next slide. And this is a rendering of the market. And building A is the first one, the first building that you see. We're in building B, where the proposed roof extension is going to happen. And again, it's within the boundaries of the overall roof area. As you can see, several other tenants have done the same, like in building A and building to the left of building A and to the right of building A, they've extended above the existing roof. So the projects have been done like that before, and we're just here to present what we would like to do for this project. I think that, the next slide. This slide shows the materials that we're using. It's going to be an insulated metal panel that's metal on both sides. That's going to cover sort of the exterior of of the walls of the extension. And to the right, you see how we're putting roof insulation and waterproofing membrane, similar to what these guys are working on right now. It's going to be a white roof, and we're going to take all measures to meet the energy code and basically create an enclosure to be able to extend an area that they need. I think that's the last slide.
Yeah, that was the last slide. That's the last slide.
So if you have any specific questions that I didn't really touch upon, I welcome your questions at this moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, and thank you, Fancy Foods and EDC for coming to present this project to us. So I guess, my only question, some background, I work with Point PDC, which is it's a nonprofit in the community, and we're always looking at environmental justice issues, and so we're always trying to push greening of all the buildings and businesses that, as much as you can, we're trying to push that envelope. So just wondering, in terms of your existing, the new roofing system that you guys are putting up, have you guys thought about or thinking about any kind of solar or the units that you're, moving and replacing or replacing there? Just want to throw it out there to think about possible solar panels or green roofs or something to try to alleviate some of the issues we have here in this community. So just wanted to just kind of ask that question. Is that a possibility? Is that something you could think about, or is that an EDC issue?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. I mean, we thought about the roof, having it green. What it does, it poses more cost to the structure, because as you know, if you put a green roof, the weight we're concerned of the existing steel that's being transferred down to the foundation. So we looked at that. Solar panels, we looked at that as well. One of the issues is that the facility itself is powered by a central location, so it's kind of and the each tenant pays in their maintenance. I believe they pay for the energy and services, so it's kind of hard to separate out any energy from this because it's all networked, from what I understand. So I don't know if Tom, you want to add to that.
I don't really have too much to add to what you had said, Louis. When we did, spoke about doing the solar panels and being it's just a small portion of a large existing building, it was unfeasible to do.
Right. So in terms of the materials, we're using a lot of materials that either have been recycled or new, and I think that the energy we're saving, by having energy efficient materials and insulation, we're able to sort of have the space contained. We have energy efficient lighting. So we're trying to meet a lot of the needs that are current in our environment, but there's also a limit on the expenses and how it would work within the big power plant.
Yeah, I know. I gotta ask the question. It's an unfortunate thing. I know you guys with the market a lot of times. Solar doesn't make a lot of sense for you guys because you've already paid, X amount to, already getting enough of a discount to ComEd, but just hoping one day in the future we can just figure something out for you guys, whether it's through EDC or the city or and so forth, to try to make sure that we can reduce our need on some of those things. All right. Anybody else have any other questions or issues, or I guess the timeline of construction that you guys are looking at? It's all interior. It's all on the inside of the market, so it's not really affecting anything else on the outside, too much like traffic patterns or nothing else like that?
No. Yeah, in terms of timeline, we would like to begin beginning of the year, let's say, and by then we should have permits, and it probably will take, I would say, 2 to 3 months project.
Yep. That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping to get our approvals in at some point next week and begin the construction next year. We certainly won't be taking as long as the last presentation that was made with 2023 and 2025. So, yeah, we should be a quickie.
Maria?
Okay, and just real quick, so this is a new parcel that you guys have purchased, or you've already been in the market, or you're new to the market?
Yeah, so we are currently this is in the B building. We're currently in the A building, and we occupy approximately 40,000 square feet in the A building. The company that we purchased the units from across the street, unfortunately, they went out of business approximately March of last year. That company, Mountain States Rosin. We were fortunate enough to be in a position of growth and able to purchase the building. And with that, our intentions are to expand our business and, of course, add jobs in the area. Yeah. So that's an additional purchase.
Okay. All right. Glad that you're able to do that. Congratulations. Bobby, you had a question?
Yeah. I got he answered one right now when you asked for the renovation time period. But one that I'm concerned with is how many jobs, since you're doing expansion of your operation, how many jobs is this how many job developments are going to be done because of your expansion?
Yeah. So our intention, this is going to round numbers, it's going to double our square footage. We currently have 130 employees, 47 of which reside in the Bronx, and the other majority within the boroughs. We're going to be doing fabricating there and storage. Our 1 to 5 year plan is to add between 30 and 60 employees.
So when you say 47 in the Bronx,
in the Bronx, sir.
Right. Okay. What has been your recruitment drive to hire within Community Board 2?
I'm sorry?
What is your recruitment drive as it pertains to Community Board 2?
Our recruitment strategy is we are always looking for employees in all areas of our company. We advertise locally. We advertise on our website, and I'm not sure how that refers to the community. We do. We have some outreach programs. We work with the High Leadership School, where we offer internships, and if there's anything I'm unaware of with the community, as far as having resources for us and the employees, we are always looking, and we're currently looking. So if there's any opportunities for us, or programs, or residents that you're looking to place in positions,
we don't know who would want jobs, but not too far from you guys, you have Miguel. You're online now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Miguel does a lot of job training, and he does job fairs, and I'm sure that they're, and he's not too far from you guys. He's right on Hunts Point Avenue. That he could probably work with you guys, in trying to get new workers. And he does recruit out of community, a lot of recruiting out of Community Board 2. So I don't know what jobs you may be creating, but, if it's not a specialty type job, then I can't see why Miguel can't assist you on getting a job fair for you guys going.
Absolutely.
We welcome that.
Also know that a good number of our clients received their OSHA training with us, so they have the OSHA card. If that's something that's a requirement for your company, so we've been able to provide that ongoing training to our clients and community residents.
Sure, that's always helpful. And just to repeat, we're always looking for employees, and it's at all different skill levels.
So maybe, I don't know how you guys can connect, but maybe you guys should talk.
I was just about to ask if I can get his information. I can send an email introducing myself and providing a little bit more information about Urban Health Plan and Project Hope.
Absolutely. I don't know if my email's on this call here. I have to use it to sign in. If you want me to share it right now with you, it's T.
You can put it in the chat, or Wahira can send it to me. Wahira, just send me his info, and I'll pass it along to Miguel.
Thank
you. Also, with your expansion, are you bringing additional trucks into the area?
There will be, we're going to be doing more business, so there's going to be a need for more product. I'm going to guesstimate in the 15 truck a week range coming from the outside.
How many do you have now?
We currently have 24 trucks. Us putting on additional trucks would be in the 4 to 5 range over a 1 to 5 year period.
Just 5 trucks?
We currently have 24 trucks.
Right.
And we're putting on 1 to 5 more trucks for our additional expansion. A lot of the products, the numbers might not match up, but a lot of products that we're going to be doing are going to be further processed so there won't be a large distribution need for it.
Well, here, will they be using that new system bringing in from the barges? Are they? Will you be using that?
I'm not aware of it, but
no, I don't think so.
Because it's not too far from where they're at. It could prevent more truck emissions into our area.
We can. I'm not sure if Sabrina talked to them about that. She manages the co-op, but if it's an option, I'm sure she can figure something out. So we'll bring that conversation back and see what's feasible.
Because that's a concern that I have. We wanted this barge system so like that we don't get that much trucks coming into our areas, but yet this particular expansion is also bringing still additional trucks with what they already have which is 24, which is quite a bit of emissions.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Maria was asking about a green roofing, but maybe the trucks. I don't know if the trucks have been switched over to energy efficient and emissions controlled. But EDC should be helping them out on that, knowing the conditions of community board too.
Right. I just wanted to add that adding the 6 trucks would be an offset to the previous owner who had 6 trucks in the loading dock. So we're not really adding trucks or traffic.
Well, what is the frequency of the trucks coming in and out of the market?
Our trucks come in, they leave once a day and come back once a day.
All right. Thank you, Maria.
Okay, and okay, so I see Tom. Thank you for leaving your email in the chat. Does anybody else have any other questions or concerns?
I have a quick comment. I just want to go back to your point about thinking of resiliency here and the green roofs in particular. EDC is deeply involved with the Hunts Point Resiliency Program, and I like what Fancy Food is doing. I hear what they're saying, and it's not a knock on Fancy Food, but I think we should have been thinking more of an environmental friendly way here. You see Bobby even talking about emissions in the air, and I just think there could have been some effort made to make this a green roof, or even with solar panels. I understand the amount of energy needed for one of these businesses in the meat market, but I mean, it should have just been something that I think should have been attempted. That's all.
EDC should have been knowing the concerns of Community Board 2. They should have been assisting them. I think EDC should have been assisting them on whatever expenditures as it is for the green roof. This way, it would make the project a lot more healthier for the community.
Sure, Ralph. This is an old conversation, and the way it stands, it's you can't blame the businesses there.
No, I'm not blaming the businesses. That's what I said.
That's what we're saying. We're not
wanted to make sure.
Businesses.
Yeah, I didn't want to knock on Fancy Food. I don't think Fancy Food really has EDC is the landlord here, right? Right or wrong. So EDC is making the renovations. It's helping Fancy Food out, which is great, but they could have been more environmental friendly. That's all I'm thinking, or at least made an attempt to, that's all.
And if not with the green roof, Maria, at least with the trucks, retrofitting their trucks like that, there'll be less emissions coming in and out of the community.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing that we keep seeing, and hopefully one day we'll get it together and we'll all be on the same page and be able to help some of these businesses, make these adjustments towards the future and things like that. So, any other questions or concerns regarding this project? So we don't need to do anything. We just need to, they needed to present, or do we need to now say okay or what?
Well, Hira, just for clarity, you just need a letter of acknowledgement. Wahira?
She quit on us.
Yeah, she's on mute. I don't know where she is here.
She quit on us.
I believe we just need a letter for PDC to sort of say that we presented.
Hi, so sorry. I'm here. I apologize. Yes,
Hira, what is it that What is it that you need here?
Oh, we just need a letter acknowledging that we presented the design.
Okay. There you go, Maria.
So we have to, so our resolution is acknowledging.
Well, that's an actual voting item, but I mean, you guys could decide how you want to do that.
I honestly think that if you're going to give them the letter of acknowledgement, you should put also into the letter of acknowledgement the concerns that we have, which is retrofitting their trucks and possibly.
There you go. So what you're saying is you should be making a motion for, along with your letter of acknowledgement with amendments or recommendations, right?
Right.
So there you go. So Maria, you have your quorum, so you can do this.
Okay, so I would need one of my committee members, which is Miguel, Selvas, Nick, and
Miles.
Oh, and Miles, yeah. One of you all have to make a motion to and tailor it to how you see fit, whether it's just simply acknowledging this presentation and wanting to do these recommendations and so forth. So I need somebody else to do that.
Hi, good evening. This is Selvas. I would like to make a motion that we accept their presentation and give them the acknowledgement, also adding in there the concerns that we have about the community in the emissions in the green space.
I second.
Maria?
I'm mute. Okay. All right, so I have Selvas making the motion. I have Miguel seconding it. And really the motion was to acknowledge the presentation, but make recommendations for greener and truck retribution.
Right.
Retrofit.
Right.
Yeah.
Fitting of the vehicles for less emissions into our community.
Less emissions. And that's just a recommendation?
Yes.
It's just a recommendation.
Yeah.
I believe that's what we wanted, Mr. Crespo, correct?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so
we're on record. We're on record that we're looking at other conditions that need to be talked about.
Okay.
Also,
so,
and that is not a I'm sorry, Madam Chair, but that is what we're asking for is really not a reflection of fancy food.
Right.
It's the landlord, which is EDC.
Right.
So I just want that to be clear because I don't think fancy food in any way should be penalized. If they got to delay it or something like that. I wouldn't want to see that, but we just want to be clear that it's you guys are asking EDC for this and not Thomas or fancy food.
Yeah, because it's EDC that's asking for the letter of acknowledgement, and like Ralph said, they're the landlords. EDC is the landlord, so there's no reason why.
Sorry, EDC is not necessarily asking. We're kind of just guiding them through the process, but the letter of acknowledgement is for Fancy Foods application.
But they're on your property.
That's right. Yes, we are the landlord.
Okay.
So then, Mr. Crespo, perhaps we should have a formal meeting with the EDC regarding their tenants and how they're managing the property in our community.
Well, I don't ever have a problem with it. EDC knows how I feel, and they know exactly, my conditions on some of these projects. I mean, we just last week, this is one of the problems. Last week we had a meeting on the barge, and they never mentioned that, they had another project, and now we have to wait another week to come on board to do this work, and EDC knows how to feel about, being brought in at the last minute, and they know that, our feelings. They know the community board's feelings, and with all due honesty, why should Fancy Foods be the ones to do this when I understand you're requesting the additional space, and they're saying, yeah, okay, we can do it, but they also know under what conditions the community board is in, and what are the situations as it pertains to our health crisis in community boards, on how high the asthma rate is, and how much of environmental issues are occurring within community board too. EDC knows it left and right. They know the whole thing. So they should have been telling you, listen, guys, look at this, and then, if anything, here's what we can do for you guys to help you out when you make your presentation to the community board, because they know exactly how we feel. And it's no reflection on Fancy Food. Let's get it clear. It's no reflection on you guys. It's the reflection of EDC not continuing to try and help us out in our community as it pertains to the health crisis.
Okay. So we have the motion. We have a second. So we'll go to vote. And so for committee members, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposing? Any abstentions? Okay, so with that, the motion passes. So our community board, our full board meeting will be next Wednesday, right here on your WebEx. If somebody from, whether it's the architect or Mr. Carrazza, can be present, just in case there's any other questions regarding the project.
EDC needs to be present also.
Be on.
Yeah.
All right, and EDC.
EDC is going to be on all night long.
Listen. I don't want to spend all night with you guys. I love you guys, but I don't want to spend all night. Okay. So then that's that for this agenda item. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Moving along, we have any old business or new business? Any old business?
I don't have anything for you, Maria.
Okay. Any announcements?
I have an announcement.
Okay, Miles.
I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that the Southern Boulevard, I'm putting on my executive director cap for a second. The Southern Boulevard bid is having our annual, I believe it's our 13th annual children's coat giveaway, winter coat giveaway. This Saturday, it's going to be at Salamanca's office, Councilmember Salamanca's office, at 10 a.m. on Saturday. I think people will start lining up, though, about 9 a.m. As always, Community Board 2 and anyone on this call is welcome to join or volunteer. But just wanted to let you all know.
Miles, about how many coats do you guys anticipate being able to get out?
Well, this year we have 820 coats. It was a little harder to get them this year, so we're about 50 less than usual, but I should be moving all 800 coats with the auxiliary team tomorrow from Ponce Bank to the council member's office. So I'll know more about how many coats or how much it feels like tomorrow afternoon.
Please, because like Maria, last year they said, 870, and then the day before they were like 200 short, and we didn't know what to do. So please, Miles, try to make sure we get an accurate account. So like this, when we put the word out, we don't get hurt out there.
Well, I'll put it this way: I for sure have 96 parcels, which should be about 790 coats. But I went out and got the extra. We should have about 126 on average parcels, so we at least have 790. The 850 up to there is where I'm a little worried, but we probably will have leftovers that we'll take to shelters and schools and stuff. But spread the word, because we haven't had too long to do outreach about this. So anybody that knows people who might have children who need coats, please let them know, and we'll have them there for them. Sizes 2T through 16.
Miles, can I ask you a question? Are they going to be giving out tickets while they line up, or because that's when the issue starts to form, because when people are in the front of the line and they start skipping other people that they know.
Sorry, what do you mean by skipping?
In other words, somebody will walk in front of the line.
I call my sister and say, hey, I'm in the front of the line. Bring my 2 nieces, and then it's going to knock out 2 kids who've been waiting online.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So we didn't do tickets previously. We just had the, NYPD on the line, and we had the barricades up for the line for crowd control. I mean, There's going to be volunteers and then NYPD there. I love the people of the Bronx, but I'm pretty sure they can duke it out if they're really bothered about it. My goal, I know what you're stressing here, but I just want to get everybody safely socially distanced in the line. So I think that alone will help mitigate that, hopefully, but yeah, I hear your concern. Anything else people think I should have a heads up about? It was my first week last year that I did the coat drive, so it was kind of a blur. But if there's...
I have track and trace coming to your event as well, so they're going to be giving out free masks.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it'll be great to do it with like the pass-through of Councilmember Salamanca's office. And we're not going to do the Santa and hot chocolate, even though I love that part, but it's just not safe this year.
Well, we're not going to have Nick out there with hot chocolate. We need Nick out there with hot chocolate.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there early with hot chocolate, so I guess I'm Santa this year for volunteers. So if that incentivizes helping out, some Dunkin' Donuts or some Geralda Bakery. See you then.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I think I got the flyer already, so we'll be putting it out in our e-blast as well to try to get some folks to you.
Okay, thank you.
I guess in terms of announcements, I had so there was the coat drive. Anybody else have any other announcements? I'm trying to remember. I had one and I lost it.
Hey, this is Ray. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. So this Tuesday, the 15th at 5 p.m., we're doing our annual toy giveaway at the 41st Precinct. So we're looking to give out like 1,000 toys. We have where everything is outdoors. We're gonna have an army of volunteers, and hopefully we'll be able to move the line as quickly as we can, so that people are outdoors less than we did last year when it was really crazy.
What time is it?
It's at 5 p.m.
Sorry, it's 5 p.m. What day?
Tuesday, December 15th.
Okay. Any other announcements? Marielle, you got anything you got to say?
Hi, can you all hear me? No?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
I have a weird thing on my computer, so I'm not sure if you could. I just wanted to say that we released the new MWBE report, Minority and Women-Owned Business Report, and we do that every year, I think for the past 7, regarding how the city is faring and making sure that they're working with minority and women-owned businesses, but also to how much money is spent. So I'll go through that full presentation, or not the full, but I'll go through a piece of it during the general board meeting. And also the boss continues to appeal to support for the federal government to support small businesses during this COVID time. So as you know, in a lot of places, businesses have been closing, and that could have changed if we had better support from the federal government. So that's a plea that he continues to put out. And also, too, as you all know, Anderson Ortiz is our Constituent Services Director for the city. So if anyone has any questions that way, they can guide them toward me, Mariel, or Anderson Ortiz, that you all know well. And if I'm not on the meeting, he will be. So he will give a short presentation on that piece because I know it's relevant to you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements that are the things that are going to happen for the next board meeting? No? I guess very quickly, I'd like to, because we didn't get to do our complete rehash, but to thank Ralph, Cynthia, Bobby, and everyone who helped with all the turkey giveaways that all community board members assisted with prior to Thanksgiving. I think the community has great need, and it's always great to see just how many things are able to distribute to families in and around the area. And I just want to thank everyone for any of the giveaways that they participated with or gave to, or that was really. It's always good to see. It's sad that so many people are in need, but it's great to see that we're able to reach so many folks, and that everybody, the volunteerism, and for the folks that come out, and especially at this time with COVID and how things can go, people are still out there doing what they do and helping to make sure that other people were getting, their needs met. So I just wanted to take a second to thank everybody who participated in those and were able to do that.
I just want to say that you did. I just want to say you did a fantastic job. That line went all the way down to Bruckner Boulevard and turned around. I don't know how we did it, but you did great organizing, and I gotta tip my hat off to you as well as to Baldos. They were a tremendous help. First by giving us the food and the turkeys, but then they had staff there also, and I know you had your staff there, and there were some board members that were there. Our district manager was there, and so was Cynthia, and so I wanna say thank you for what you did on behalf of the community, because without you and Baldos, it would have. I don't know what would have happened if somebody else would have tried to do that.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I look forward to it.
I know Rocky. I don't know
what happened. It's that one person that brings it out of me. I just cannot take that one person.
Yeah, Cynthia did a good job too, giving up the tickets all the way down to McDonald's. But Maria did a good job with crowd control there. So
we had 2 people there that actually this was their first year. So Danielle and Chitoria.
Yeah. I was going to say that was there, Chitoria. Cynthia's kids came out. Now that they're getting older, they're really even better than when they were before. So we got a great crew. We kind of almost on autopilot getting this thing together. And also to thank the 4-1, Tacola and all of them. I mean, there's little things we need to tweak, but people were out there when they didn't need to be out there, and so we're thankful for.
You're the first person to bring out Chief Madry out to the 4-1 precinct, and the captain out before, during the day tour. And only you did that.
Never me. But just wanted to thank everybody, as well as any other turkey giveaways, because there were a lot of things. I know that the council member and the district manager. I mean, every day on Facebook, I'm seeing you guys at another state giving out, 300 turkeys, 400 turkeys, 500 turkeys. So I just want to say that and to thank everybody for all that work and looking forward to the new year, and hopefully I think 2021 is going to be, we might get, at some point we'll get a return to normalcy, and looking forward to, having these meetings and in person and being able to kind of get around the table and do more planning in person and being able to get things done like that. So I guess is that my holiday greetings, and really just everyone have a great time with your family, stay safe, and like I said, looking forward to seeing everybody next year. So please be very careful and keep it going like that. I guess on that note, I think we need to close out the meeting. Is there anyone who wants to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to.
Second motion.
All right, and Miles with his first on the record committee. He'll make it to the minutes if I ever write them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ralph is recording all of this.
Yeah, it's being recorded.
All right. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. This meeting is adjourned at 7:57. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Ralph, have a good night. Bobby, everybody, thank you all for all right. Good night.
I give you a call, Maria.